Hey guys, Mako here. So I've recently finally have beaten Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, or Final if you prefer. And wow, long story short, I had a blast. I know I'm gonna get flamed for that opinion. Wow, I enjoyed the Forbidden game. That game was really good. I really had a lot of fun with Apocalypse, and I can instantly tell why people don't like the general Megaton community, why they don't like it. It is very power of friendship-y and very bonds-y, but I don't see that as a necessarily negative. In fact, I found some of the most fun I had with the game was when the characters were interacting, and I didn't really want to betray anybody. I know that's an option later in the game, but I really didn't want to. So, what do I think about the game in a broader scope compared to the rest? Of course, it's less dark than any other Megami Tensei. It's a little more graphic actually, because I think there's one cutscene where there's a lot of blood and stuff like that. So I don't think there's a lot of blood in general in a lot of Megaten games. I know there's some in SMT3 with that one cutscene. But in general, that doesn't really happen all that often. In the Mannequin headquarters, I think there was a lot of blood as well, but it doesn't really generally happen. But despite being all that bloody in a few instances, it's a really lighthearted game. Quite frankly, there's a lot of happy moments with the cast. I can tell that this game was probably a bit of an experiment for Atlas, trying to find maybe a new direction to take SMT in, because maybe they were thinking, if we make it a little more Persona-y, then we might be able to make SMT a bit more successful. Because obviously this is their bread and butter, this is their baby. SMT is their main thing, that's what made them, them. And no matter how big Persona is ever gonna get, they're never really gonna drop SMT, obviously. They dropped a lot of other things Imagine Tensei and Devil Summoner and stuff like that. But I don't think they'll ever drop Shin Megami Tensei, right? But generally, with SMT4 Apocalypse, I know there was a lot of changes and everything, but as a package, I think it was one of the best games in the series, in my opinion. The combat is just, woo! It's so refined by this point. It's so good. It was so fun. And by this point, I felt like a god, pretty much, because I'm really good at Megaten nowadays. I can get through a game no problem, speaking of getting through no problem, and other Megatens in general, I've heard that the SMT1 GBA version is gonna get English patched soon, completely, and I'm really excited to replay the game again. I know I literally beat it a few months back, but I already want to play it again, and I'm not intimidated by that fact anymore, because I beat the game once, and once I beat a game once, I can replay it however many times afterwards. I'm not really intimidated by the length or anything like that, because I already know the game inside out, and I'm really excited to just check out what the game is gonna be like in the GBA aesthetic. But to stop diverging from the main discussion, because I've noticed I've been doing this a lot so far, SMT4 Apocalypse, it's pretty much SMT4 on steroids. It makes you fight fucking Lucifer and Merkaba twice. That was a little lame and annoying, but in general, I really enjoyed this fucking combat system, and everything that was included in it. It just felt like more fun SMT4. Not to say that SMT4 wasn't fun. I think it's kind of even for the most part, but there's more battles and stuff like that make it a little better, in my opinion. Add a lot more fun. But okay, what do I talk about now? Nanashi, maybe as a protagonist, a bit of a loaf of bread, honestly. He's there's nothing special about Nanashi, really. He's probably the least interesting messiah so far, honestly. But that's not to say that I didn't enjoy Nanashi in general. I did like the attitude everyone had towards Nanashi. I liked his friends, and I liked how everyone treated him, and I liked the bond that you formed somewhat with Dagda over time as well. But Nanashi feels more than any other Atlas games. He feels way more like a blank slate protagonist. It's easier, and I feel like it's easier to put yourself in the shoes of Nanashi more than anyone else, because he doesn't really have a lot of moments that make him his own character that much. One thing that I want to mention about the story, though, I didn't like the fact that throughout the entire game, Dagda is trying to push you to do something that you would. There's no way you're gonna do. Like, he's pushing you towards the anarchy ending, which there's no reason why you ever would want to do, because no one's really conflicting your ideals or anything like in the previous games. Everyone's like on board with everything you're doing, like, yeah, let's do this, let's go. There is no reason to confront your friends or like kill them or anything like that. And Dagda's trying to, like, near the end, he's trying to, like, okay, kill your friends, let's go destroy everything. Like fucking what? Why? But I do like Dagda, like, afterwards, like near the end as well. It did feel like a buddy you had throughout the entire game. He was supporting you and stuff like that. I just didn't like how near the end, in the Cosmic Egg, how that worked out. I didn't really like that whole scene. I think it would have been better if Dagda had a redemption of some sort, rather than just like killing him off and replacing him with a new one. But other than that, I really liked Dagda. It was obviously like I'm getting a lot strong vibes of SMTF with the whole mechanic of like how Dagda functions. Not really. Well, he doesn't really function. He doesn't do anything. But it's like he's keeping you alive. He's like your life source pretty much. And whenever you die, he can just bring you back. Like in SMTF, if you die, you come back with a new guardian. Except for in SMT4, you come back with Dagda again. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of experimental vibes. Like Atlas was seemingly trying to like put a lot of stuff into Megaten just to see what sticks with this game. I guess it was safer for them to do that on this game rather than a big mainline 5 or something, because it's not really a spin-off, but it's not really a next big mainline installment. So it makes sense why they were a bit more experimentative with this one. But like, Dagda's up there in terms of characters that I really liked in the game overall. But like I think my favorite character throughout the entire game was probably Gaston. I don't know why, I really liked Gaston. Like, I loved his entire character arc, where he's gone from being this douchebag at the start, like he's being a bit of a prick, to being like the most endearing little dick, like little asshole. Like I really liked like his entire character arc throughout the entire game. I think he's honestly like one of my most favorite written characters in that game. On the other hand, like on the other end of the spectrum, I think my least favorite character in the game was probably Asahi. She did not contribute to anything. Holy shit, she was so plain. Like, I found more, like, if I was going to get into shipping wars or anything like that, fuck Asahi, go with Toki. I don't give a shit. Asahi is just, oh no, her dad died. Even as, and that's it. But that's, even as a unit in battle, she just kind of sucks. She only heals you and nothing else. Like, I think, did I even ever use her? I think there was like one fight in the Cosmic Egg I had her on. When she first came back, I think I had her on for that fight, just because like, oh yeah, she's back to being alive, yay. And after that, I just switched her out for, I think, Toki or Gaston or someone, I don't remember. I definitely didn't stick with Asahi at all, because she has heals, but you can do the heals yourself. In fact, I pretty much always had a demon on hand who had some sort of Mediarama or something, or like an item use ability. In fact, my lineup in the end was kind of, I was going more for numbers rather than practicality. So I had like, I think I had like Inanna as one of my demons, and she's pretty good. I put the ability to use items on her, so she was able to like just throw like mass healing stuff and SP restoring stuff on everyone in the final battle. That was alright. I also had Thor, and I don't know why I had Thor, because he got wiped in like 2 turns, and that was a mistake. No, it was like, I think he lasted a few more than 2, but like he really got wiped pretty quickly, because Yahweh can just, you know, put on the ability to pierce anything, and any resistances anyone has against like electricity or anything, that don't matter anymore. So that was pointless. And my third unit, I think it was Shiva. No, was it Shiva? I don't even remember what the demon's name is. It's one of the. It was the special fusion demon that was level 91, the blue guy, or maybe even 95. I think his level was 95 actually. Yeah, I used him, and he lasted me. I think no, he's the one that fucking finished off Yahweh for me in the end, because he was like reflecting shit at just the right time, and he kept reviving me, because I actually left the revive skill on him just in case, and he just kept, near the end it was very clutch, because I did the Yahweh fight first try, so I just, you know, I just kept dying because he kept throwing shit I was weak against. Not weak against, but I didn't have resistances to. So I just kept reviving, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna run out of SP with this guy soon. But eventually he just did some, like, Yahweh just broke his like cycle of just spamming shit and did something stupid. So I could just like pop in like a charged like Megaton press, Megaton punch, I think it was called. I forget the name of the skill. But I had like a level 9 high damage dealing physical skill, and I charged that up, and he was just like gone. It was so clutch. It was so satisfying, because it was just literally just me with almost no health, just like last try kind of thing. Just killed off Yahweh right there. The SMT4 original crew. They died pretty quickly for me, honestly. Like, they were not very useful at all. They didn't even do that much damage. Flynn was doing that one attack with that one sword, the almighty whatever, and that barely did any damage either, so I was pretty much reliant on Nanashi doing most of the damage, honestly. Everything else was just buffs and debuffs constantly. But yeah, like the last dungeon, and pretty much the ending, I may be controversial or something, but I really liked it. I liked the whole dungeon. It was pretty large. I guess you could say that it's very largely empty in a lot of places, but I really enjoyed it. It felt very like, yeah, this is the end. We're gonna save the world kind of thing. I really liked the ending of For Apocalypse. It was such a happy ending. It was fun. Everyone was happy, smiling. The music was nice. Dagda was smiling at you. It was just like the happiest happy ending ever. Like, holy shit! It's something you don't expect out of SMT, because it's like, okay, like in the end of like every other SMT is like, okay, it's time to it's gonna be hard and everything is destroyed, but we're gonna rebuild society. Whereas the end of For Apocalypse was like all sunshine and rainbows. So yeah, I didn't mind it. It was a fun adventure. But something I've been wondering myself is SMT5 taking some inspiration from For Apocalypse? I feel like with the whole Guardian thing, you know, how Dagda brought you back to life in 4. I think that's what's gonna happen in 5. At least that's what the trailers seem to suggest. Although in 5 in the trailer, the guy didn't really die, but he definitely formed some sort of pact with the demon. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. But yeah, I can never stop thinking about 5. It just pops into my head like at random. I'm just like, oh yeah, what if this is what if it's gonna be this and this and this? I really hope it's gonna live up to the expectations and it's gonna blow it out of the park. I really want SMT5 to be that breaking point for the series. You know, that Persona 5 for SMT. Because I really like. I feel like this is like the last stroke, like last real attempt Atlas is gonna do at a proper bombastic, massive fucking SMT game. And if it's not gonna work out, I'm scared of what's gonna happen afterwards. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think a lot of people will give SMT5 a shot. I'm also curious how many people are gonna get SMT3. But anyway, back on track. What should I talk about now? Maybe the music. The music. Sorry about that interruption. My my fucking parents just called me because they were looking for some numbers that they forgot to take for their job. What was I talking about? Music, I think. Yeah. What was I gonna say about the music? Well, the music was very, very solid. I thought it was really good. There isn't that much that I have downloaded compared to the SMT4's soundtrack, the original SMT4's. The original SMT4 definitely has the strongest soundtrack because there's just more of it. But what new SMT4 Apocalypse does have is extremely solid. Like the main like hub theme, like of the Kinshicho, I think it was called. The main area that the characters are from, like Nanashi and Asahi are from, that area theme is it's so good. It's so homey. And the last few boss battle themes against like Satan and Yahweh, those are they're so good. They're so epic. But like, I listen to them on occasion just to get my just to get a little bit more lively in a day sometimes. They're very, very solid. But as I said, there's not as much on my music, SMT4 Apocalypse music on my phone as there is every other Mega 10 game because it's just not enough. I feel like there should have been a bit more music. Like I did like the friendly interaction music and the sad Asahi track whenever Asahi was sad when that track played. That was also very nice. But in general, again, it's good. What's there is amazing, but I wish there was more. Especially considering the length of the game. I feel like because the game took me like 60 hours to beat. I might have been taking my sweet ass time, but that's how long it took me. At least on my first playthrough now. I'm actually playing a little bit of the extra DLC in the Diamond Realm, you know, where you meet all the other protagonists. I'm playing a bit of that. It's actually kind of hard. But it's really fun. It's really cool to see those characters interact, even though it's pretty brief. I'm getting more text, sick. Regardless of that, don't let that distract you. Damn it, I let it distract me a little bit. Anyways, one thing I actually want to mention as well before moving on. I wanted to briefly touch upon the Law and Chaos endings and how they are basically joke endings now because they end the game like halfway through. Like it's a joke because it's like, oh, you chose to side with Chaos for no reason all of a sudden? Sick. Let's end the game right here. It lets you do that shortly like in the fight, like the big battle between Merkaba and Lucifer, before you go to the Cosmic Egg. And I didn't do it myself. I looked it up on YouTube because it's really pointless just to see it yourself. It's not really that much that happens, but yeah, it's really dumb because there'll be no feasible like canonical reason why Nanashi would just betray everyone all of a sudden, for no apparent reason. But yeah, I don't even see the point of that even being in the game. But a part of me really wants SMT5 to have law, chaos, and neutral again, like in a traditional, normal chaos, neutral, and law. Because there's been a lot of experiments since 2. Like, there's, I guess 4 was law, chaos, neutral, and I like that. But 3 was like reasons, which are cool in the game. Like, it's a cool, different approach to it. I liked it in 3, but only 3. I don't want to see it again. And 4 Apocalypse was just basically one ending. Just at the end, you can decide to kill your friends or not. Okay. But yeah, I want it to be a bit more elaborate in 5. But it's basically a game with one ending. It's just you can choose to get the bad ones. Like in Persona. Again, going back to the similarities with Persona as well. Because in Persona, you don't really get a bad ending. You just choose to get a bad ending. Because the game doesn't really tell you... it doesn't really have any hidden systems in the background determining what ending you're going to get. You're just going to get what's laid out in front of you. Unless you decide to go with the wishes of the bad guy and just have the bad ending for some reason. Like, the game does that in Persona 5 and Persona 3. 4, it sort of gives you the illusion of choice, I guess. But it clearly states it's a fucking bad ending. And tells you, save here and try again if you fuck up. Okay. And the only game that really did endings differently, and actually your choices determined what ending you're gonna get. The only game that did that was Persona 1. And even then, it was only like 2 endings you could get, the bad one or the good one, which sucked if you chose the wrong options as well. So there's that. But if I was going to put like a solid negative on Apocalypse as a game, it would be the lack of new areas. You go back through the same stuff you've already been through for the most part in Vanilla 4, so it's just the same areas again, which it makes sense. Apocalypse was originally supposed to be like an expansion to original 4, not its own game, but eventually it turned into its own game, which is cool. But yeah, I wish there was more new areas, because the Cosmic Gig was okay. It wasn't that great, and the only cool dungeon, in my opinion, was the last one in Yahweh's realm, and a lot of people don't like it. So it's like I'm on the side of a fence that likes it, even though most people don't. You know, so yeah, I guess I wish there was more thought put into like the new dungeons, and there was more new dungeons. So that's like pretty much the only negative I would have. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up here and stop my rambling. As you can see, my opinion on the game is I love it, but I hope SMT5 doesn't really do the same things. I like it on its own. I really like it, and this wraps up my journey through pretty much every single mainline SMT, with the exception of Strange Journey. I'm not sure how much that counts, but it's definitely on the docket to get through eventually. But right now I'm trying to get through Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, because I still haven't actually beat that. I beat every single other Persona game, just not Eternal Punishment, because I was stuck on one single boss battle for like months. And I was so frustrated that I decided just to play every single SMT game back to back instead, which I don't regret at all. I fucking love this series now. It's pretty much my favorite. Like, Megaten as a whole is like my favorite franchise now. I put both Persona and SMT into one basket here. I guess I like Devil Summoner as well. Everything Megaton in general, I fucking consume. So like, I love consuming. It's all so good. But yeah, if all stars align, I will probably make a video on Persona 2 Eternal Punishment soon. Of course, I'm not promising anything. I decided to stop promising videos like that because I might feel like doing something like when I'm recording another video and then completely lose interest later. So I'm not going to promise anything. That might be what I do, but I'm not going to say that's definitely what I'm going to do. Although the chances are higher than not because it's a game that's been at the back of my head for a long time. Like, it's the only Persona game I haven't beaten. Come on. But yeah, other than that, then that's pretty much it. Follow me on Twitter. I've almost reached 300 followers on that, and it would be cool to finally reach that because I've been stuck on 200 for a while. As well as subscribe. A lot of people who watch me don't subscribe, so please subscribe. I hate being one of those guys, but I don't know. It would help me boost my ego a little bit, and just in general, kind of help me motivate myself to do these on a more consistent basis. I've been kind of making these videos kind of sporadically. So far, they've been kind of every 2 weeks. But I would like to do it more often, really. So yeah, I'm probably gonna ask for like likes and subs more often now. But yeah, definitely follow me on Twitter if you wanna keep up with what's up with me and how I'm going with games and stuff like that, just to see what might be a video eventually. But yeah, yep, like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you guys next time, whatever that will be. So see ya.